How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today we work with this. Again, welcome back to the channel, everyone. So glad each and every single one of you can make it. I truly am. This build, I've been wanting to do one of these for a while, and I just keep passing on it. I have the castings. I've got several of them. I've got loose hand in the pack. But this build is going to be going to Switzerland to Andrew after he did his Porsche build number 2 for his channel, where he's celebrated his second year and, you know, all that great stuff on YouTube. He reached out to a bunch of YouTube creators and asked them if they would be interested in doing a buddy build. Well, of course, I'm like, heck yeah, why not? Sure. So he's building me a car, I'm building him a car. This one's going to go to him actually in Switzerland. So I hope this bad boy turns out halfway decent, because I don't want it to get there and him look at it like, And I know if it's broke right down the middle, he'll say, yeah, look at that paint job and the decals and the wheels, and never say anything about it being broke down the middle. But it ain't gonna go that way. I'm actually gonna keep it this way, but different. You'll understand what I'm talking about in a little bit. So let's get it out of the pack. All right, I got the magic sauce on there, as you can see, and it should be just about ready to come out. Sometimes I have to add a little more. Depends on what they set it for that day. Some days it seems like it's harder to get out than others. But yeah, it's coming out. It's all but out on this one corner. Let me see if there's any left in the brush. Not really. Alright, it finally broke loose. I really don't want to tear the writing, because like I said, it's going to somebody. And I want it to be right. If it's just going to be mine, I really wouldn't care, but try to get a little bit in there too. There we go. Look at that. It popped right open. It did. So there's the car. Stick something in there so it don't seal back up, because it will. Close this up so I don't spill it, because I will. Put that to the side so I don't knock it off, because you guessed it, I will. But here's the car. Like I said, it's going to remain a golf car, but this paint job is not going to be like this. It's something that I've done several of, and I really like it. Whenever I do one, everybody talks highly of it and really likes it. So, and the pattern for the paint might not stay the same, but it will be a golf car, I promise you. So let's get it apart. That's the next step. How you like that magic? I don't think these are right. The back post is probably a good depth. I don't think this front one's going to be super long, so we have to be careful to start with. And I've been drilling for the past couple hours. I've probably got 15 cars that I've drilled and tapped. So I don't want to mess this one up. Alright. Standard 3 tabs. Medium-sized wheels, it looks like, Aero disc. We'll be swapping those out, of course. Got the gangster lean seats in there. Look how far back them bad boys are leaning. And the glass. And that will get, of course, dipped in floor shine so it looks nice and bright. I'm not sure what all I'm going to do to the interior. It might just be seat belts and shifter and any gauges get painted, because I want the emphasis to be on the paint job that I do. I don't know, we'll see. And of course the base will get painted. But for right now, we got to work on the space. I got to get it drilled out. And there's a good post there, so I don't have anything to worry about. So if you ever decide you want to do one, there's plenty of post there. Just go to it. And I normally don't tap my post. I use self-tapping screws. But I really need to start doing it just because. Let me show you why. Watch this. Screw in, right? Get it started straight. And you can spin it in with your fingers. Look at that. Spin it all the way until it's tight. So tapping is great. The only problem with the tap that I have found that you have to be careful with is during final assembly. If for some reason you tighten it down too tight, it will pull the threads out so quick it's not even funny. It really will. So I'm going to use a tap this time because I really need to start doing it. It just makes life so much easier. But if you also decide to start using a tap, be aware that if you over tighten this, and I mean it, if you just barely over tighten it, it will strip the threads out. So I've got that ready. It's ready to go into the stripper. I currently have a couple cars in there, so I'm not going to show you that process. You'll see it coming out of the stripper when we get to look at the casting and see what all we're working with. Nice beautiful day. It's in the 70s with about a 6-mile-an-hour wind blowing, and yeah, like 71 degrees. It's just beautiful. Sun shines out, not a cloud in the sky. So we're going to do this. It's a little too windy than it's a little more windy than I like when I spray, but it'll be all right. We're going to be using the black sealer because of the paint job I'm putting on this. And I haven't told you exactly what it's going to be yet, but I'll go ahead and tell you now. It's going to be one of my marble paint jobs, just because I really like the way they look, and every time I do it, everybody really likes it. So that's what we're doing. So we have to lay down a base of black, then we'll go over it with the silver, make our marble, and then we'll spray it with the final color, and then we'll clear coat it. Glue everything off, of course. Putting on a light coat to start with, let it dry for a few minutes, and then I actually won't tape it just a minute because the air dries this stuff really quick. You can almost watch it dry. Y'all hit it with air and watch. You just see it flash that quick. I was trying to figure out exactly what car I wanted to do for Andrew, and everybody always does the GT3 RS, and it's a really nice car and everything, but I wanted Andrew to have something that was more personal from me, and that's why, not many people do the marble paint jobs. I do them because I really like them. So, and then I figured, he doesn't have a custom one of these that somebody has sent him, so I'm like, well, let me do one of them. Because like I said, I've actually been wanting to do one of these cars myself for a while now. So what a perfect chance. What a perfect opportunity for me to do that and get him a car that I haven't seen anybody customize for him. And like I said, it's still going to be a Golf. But it's going to be a marble Golf. After you let that tack coat dry, you can come back with a wet coat. Look how good that thing's looking in black. Oh my goodness. Detail that bad boy up, do the headlights, the straps to hold down the hood, and turn signals and brake lights and stuff. Oh man, that would look so good. I'm going to put one more coat on it because I'm actually going to try something different with this one. I normally use gloss black, but since this is a marble paint and the black will actually be showing through, when I put the clear on it, I think that will give me the overall gloss black that I'm looking for. So I'm gonna shoot it with this, and then I'll put the 2K clear on top of it, and that should give us a very nice finish. Now I'm just sitting here looking at where I sanded those casting lines off of it, which was along the roof lines and along those fenders, if you remember correctly, and you can't tell they were ever there. I was going to do it all the way down, but then you start losing some of the body lines and the angles and stuff, so I decided not to. I'm going to put one more coat on this, and that'll be enough. But with this coat, I want to make sure to hit the wheel wells at this angle at the 90 degrees. So go all the way around the perimeter of the car. That way I know that I got in every gap. And then I'll hit the car one more time wet. Not a soaking wet, but just a nice slow pass like I just did. That's going to be it. Look at how good that thing looks now. Oh my goodness. I might have to do one of these and just do it like this and put me some chrome steelies on it and detail it up and let that bad boy ride. Holy cow. Yeah, there's that. Alright, let's try to do this interior. Guess what color it's going to be? That's right, orange. So let's try it and see how it goes. I have it a touch too thin. I might have to thicken it up just a hair. We'll see as it dries. Okay, there's that. Let's do the base now. See how it goes. Let's get the next step done on this. To do it, all I need is something. It could be cardstock, it can be a piece of paper, it could be a piece of cardboard, anything with some saran wrap on it, an extra piece of saran wrap, a paintbrush just to spread the paint around a little bit, and the paint. In this case, we're using Wicked Colors, Wicked Metallic Silver. Shake it up really good. It doesn't take much, but while that sits there for just a second, what we want to do is we want to just ball this up, crinkle it up, and get it, unfold it, refold it, until we get all kinds of different patterns that we think we might want, like such. Because what we're going to do, paint on here, spread it around, dab this in it, and then dab it on the car. But what I also need is a paper towel, because if I have too much on the plastic, then I'll want to dab some of it off on the paper towel. It doesn't take much, just a couple drops. As you can see, it doesn't take much. And we can come back and add more if we decide we need to. Spread it around a little bit. As you remember, there's the car. She's nice and black, but it ain't going to stay black long. Not when we go to doing this. And then all we want to do is just take the plastic saran wrap, dip it in the paint, and then dip it on the car. And that gives us our marble effect. It can be heavy. As you can see, that's a little too heavy there. So we can dab it off on the paper towel and then come back and add it as we need. But the heavy spots is what gives us the marble pattern. And I'm sorry, you're off camera. But that's what gives us our marble effect, as you can see. Because when we go over that with the translucent paint, the heavy spots is what will actually show through is the marble. That's all you do. You just go through and dab it on there until you are happy with the pattern, and then stop. Like I said, you can always reload the paint, spread it around a little bit, rotate your plastic a little bit, and go to dabbing. You can drag it, you can dab it, you can do whatever you want to do. It's your car, do it how you want. And this is such a small car, it won't take much. But I'm almost happy with that. Matter of fact, I am happy with that. Spread that on top just a little bit. And see how nice that's going to look? But that's all there is to it. And as you can see, as I rotate it, the whole car is actually covered with the silver. Uh-oh. The whole car is actually covered. I just add more detail. More character. It's actually covered with the silver, but the high spots is what you'll see whenever I go over it with translucent paint. And this thing's going to have decals on it. On this. Uh-oh, sorry for shaking. Going down the middle, so I don't need a lot. But if you look at that, you can see how good that looks. Again, the high spots will be the marble. And then as you can see where it's completely coated with a real thin layer, that will give it more of a metallic blue over the black. But there's your marble on the hood. And then there would be your metallic-y kind of blue color when it gets in the sun just right. Sides are done, as you can see. Front's done, because I'm going to detail the headlights and everything anyway, so we don't need a bunch there. That side is done, and the back is done. And that took every bit of, what, 10 seconds? Matter of fact, I'm going to take the brush because it's got some in it. I'm just going to dab it on there, just to give it a few different little effects. Hey, looks different. I'm going to try something on the back. Just one more little drop. I'm going to try something to see how it'll look. Give it kind of a streak look to it. Oh yeah, look at that. But yeah, there it is. There's the marble color. Now all we got to do is let this dry and then hit it with the top color, which is going to be Carib Blue by Createx. I thought about using something different, but like I said, I don't have a whole bunch of time with this to be trying a bunch of new things. So what I'm going to do is just do what I know works, and then let it go from there. And see, there's no right or wrong. Like I said, you can dry brush this on. You can dab it on like such, however you want. Sorry for shaking you. And you can give it as much character as you want. That's what makes this so much fun. It's totally up to you on what you want. But if you go too much with the light, you'll basically just have a candy paint job. You won't have the marble effect. So that's why I'm trying to get some high spots built in there. Just random high spots. Yeah, that's all you do. Put a few more little characters on the side. Built up characters. You can put a big gob and then drag it, as you can see right there. But the black and the silver adds depth to it, and then when you put the blue on it, it just makes it pop. That's all there is to that. Super, super simple. Today you get to see where the beauty of the marble paint comes through. I've got everything set up outdoors, as you can tell, I am certain. And I've got you facing a little bit of a different direction because the wind's gusting every once in a while, and I do not want to get this paint on any of my camera equipment. So, well, let me show you what we're working with. Here's the car, as you've already seen. She's a beauty. Make sure you see it okay. And the trick of the marble paint is perception. That's all marble paint is perception. And what I mean by that is you've got the black base coat as the ground one level. Then you have the silver as the second level, so you're building it up in steps. And then next you're going to have the paint level, which is the third level, finished off by the clear coat. So you're going to have 4 steps or 4 depths of color. Man, it's looking like it's fixing to pour down rain. But anyhow, that's how it works. I'm going to blow this off real quick. Make sure there's no dust on it. Cover it back up while we get the paint ready. The paint that I have chosen, and since this is a Gulf car, I wanted it to be blue. So here's what we have. This is the Carib Blue by Createx. It's mixed with the 40-30 Balancing Clear because it has to have a carrier, because all candy paint is a tint. So you basically take the carrier, if you think in automotive terms, you've got the clear. You mix in the carrier, which is the dye. God, I'm screwing up. You have the clear, you mix in the tint, in this case, which would be the candy, into the clear, and then you have your paint. Same principle with this. You have your carrier, which is the 40-30. I'm going to use that until I run out, and then I'll switch over to their newer stuff, which is supposed to be a lot more durable, which is 40-50. So if you're just starting out, get 40-50, not the 40-30. I'm using 40-30 because that's what I have. So let's mix this in, and then you'll get to see, and I have it thinned down just a hair because this particular airbrush likes thin paint. Make sure it sprays out okay. And now you'll get to see the magic. And I'm not going to do the base on this one because the base is orange, as you saw earlier. But I will hit the blue, the inside, just so we can make sure that the gun is spraying okay. And it gives the interior kind of a murdered blue look to it. That's what it'll do. But here's where you get to see the, let me move this out of the way. This is where you'll get to see the magic of the marble. You really won't see much on the front when I spray it. But as I go down the side, see how that's starting to come through? Just look at that already. Holy cow. This is going to look so good. And then all you do is just let it dry for a couple minutes because this stuff flashes really quick. But look at how good this already looks. Look how good that already looks. And then you just decide on how dark you want that paint to go. Look at that. That's where the marble magic starts to come through. Like I told you earlier, from where I hit it with that plastic, and it looked like it didn't have a bunch on there, but as you rotate it around and the light hit it, you could see that it's actually going to be pretty covered. And as you can see, this joker is pretty covered for certain. Yeah, I'm going to set this over here and let it dry for a minute, and then we'll come back and put another coat on it. All right, it's been about 5 minutes. Again, just look at that beauty, beauty, beauty. Keep on putting my hand behind it because I'm still trying to learn this new setup. Make sure you can see it okay. Then we're going to hit it again. And then you just have to use your own judgment. On how dark you want yours to be. As you can see, that's already a lot darker. And that's only 2 coats. I will probably go one more. Probably not much more than that. But doesn't that look just really, really good? I hope that the dang camera's focusing on it. I hope that it is. Doesn't that just look really good? Alright, let's put coat number 3 on it. Spray the inside again. And I'll take you over in the sun and show you what I'm talking about when I say murdered blue. See if I can get it to come through. Put a nice wet coat on the inside. Make sure everything's covered. Because, you know, whenever you give this as a gift to somebody and they take it out in the sunlight and open it up and look at it, or in very bright light, you want it to be right. And you can see that door right there, at least I assume you can. Got some bumps in it. Well, it looks like bumps, but that's not really bumps. That is the thicker silver paint that I put on there. I should have tried to level it out just a little bit, but it is what it is. Now let's go with the next coat. Yeah, I think this will be the last coat. Yeah, I think that'll be the last one. Let's go over here in the sunlight so I can try to show you this. Look how good that thing looks in the sunlight. Oh my goodness. But if you tilt it up and look on the inside, I'll try to move it back and forth so you can see it. See how that black has a blue tint to it? Well, Andrew really won't see it unless he takes it out in the sunlight or watches this video. But in the indoor light, you really won't see it. But once you take it outside, you'll see that bluish tint to that gray. And it just adds another depth to it. I mean, it just looks so much better. Working on Andrew's Porsche and thought I would show you a little something that I've been doing. Here's the interior. Get it over here in the light where maybe you can see it better. I put in a 3D printed steering wheel, put in the gear shifter, and most Porsches have white face gauges, so I did the white face on the gauges and went around it with silver. That way it has the trim ring around it. And I painted the interior orange, and I gave it a slight black wash over all the interior. That way it has kind of a worn race look to it. And I've also been working on the wheels. Here's the wheels. 5 spokes. Trying to get it where the focus good. 5 spokes. And I went in and painted the lug nut silver. Wheels are painted front and back. As you can see, all of them are done. Everything's done now except for final assembly. They look good, don't they? They look good, don't they? Not perfect, but can you imagine how hard it is to get in there and do that? And then again, here's the interior. Got the white face gauges with the silver outer ring. Not perfect, but hey. Then I drilled the hole for the gear shifter. Black washed the interior, as I was stating. Gave it a worn look to it. Because let's face it, there is no perfect race Porsche. Those jokers get used and they get dirty quite often. I just wanted to show you that. That's what I've been up to this evening. So I'm sitting here working on Sir Andrew's car, just looking stuff over, checking it, making sure I have everything right. And the interior has turned out, you know, fairly nice. I still am thinking about painting that steering wheel brown or some shade of brown. But now that I have it glued in, it's kind of hard to get to the bottom edge of it and stuff, you know, without making a mess. So I'll probably just leave it black, but I think it turned out pretty good. Got a worn look to it, which is what I was going after. And And the body has so far turned out absolutely amazing. I'm really digging that. But I'm waiting on the decals to come in, because it's not going to stay just like this. You know, it's got to get the Gulf decal on there. I'm currently out of them. So I'm just sitting here, you know, double checking, crossing my T's, dotting my I's, making sure everything's okay. And then we come to this. I picked this up, I clear coated the base, and that way it protects the bottom and everything, just seals it in, gives it a nice gloss and everything. But look at those wheels. See how shiny those wheels are? When I picked it up by the wheels, just like this. And when I did that, they felt sticky to me. And they still feel sticky. I mean, they are. I can take it and put my finger on there and the paint comes off. And I painted this a week ago. The wheels, I painted it a week ago. And they were dry when I put the tires on. And here's the tires. So I don't know if it had a chemical reaction with the wheel or if it had a chemical reaction with what these tires are made out of. But you can see the orange inside the tires. So there's a fail. There is a big time fail. I don't know why it happened. I don't know how it happened. But talk about disheartening. I mean, it's a mess is what it is. Trying to get it in there so you can see it, but anyhow, like I said, I don't know if it's the plastic the rubber that the tires are made out of, or if it, for some reason, it's having a reaction with the wheels after sitting there, because like I said, it was dry. Every bit of it was dry before I put the wheels on, the tires on, because I would have never glued these in if there was something going on. And they look so good. I mean, they would have looked so good with this. Look at that. Oh my goodness. So now I don't know how I'm going to clean that paint off, because I hate to throw them away. I might just try to drop them down in CLR or Super Clean or something, just to see if it takes the paint off, or at least attempts to take the paint off. And I have another set. I have a black set of these too. And after looking, I have come to the conclusion that the gray will look really cool on here with the orange and the blue. So that's what we're going with. Problem is now getting these out without tearing something up or messing up the paint job. So that's my project, is to get them out. Next time you'll see this, it'll have the gray wheels, and I'll show you the update when I get there. So here's what we started with. It's not what most people would choose, but I chose the Porsche 356 Outlaw. And the reason I chose this is because not many people choose it. Plus, I really like the design. There's something about the old vintage Porsche that is just really, really super cool, elegant, and simple in design. And yet it gets the job done. And, you know, with Andrew, Porsche is his favorite car, so, you know, that's the reason I'm doing the Porsche. He's doing a Camaro, I'm doing a Porsche. So I'd like to thank Andrew for the opportunity to do this, because, you know, he didn't have to ask me. You know, this is a long distance build for sure, all the way to Switzerland. But he reached out to me and asked me if I'd be interested in it and everything, and I'm like, yeah, sure. So he created a thumbnail for our videos, and I posted it in my community page and everything, and a lot of people wanted to get in on it, so we opened it up to everybody. And I can't wait to see everybody else's videos. But with that being stated, the hashtag you need to put in your video title, it's got to be in the title, is below. And yeah, Andrew, I hope you enjoyed this one. I really enjoyed doing it. After I got done, I wanted to keep it, as I do all my builds, but you know, that's just the way it is. But yeah, I really enjoyed doing this one. I hope you enjoy it as much as I enjoyed doing it. I now bring you the 356 Porsche Outlaw.